Zippity doo dah, beautiful day, great to be alive. Hey, what's up everyone? This is Chris Brown here again. Now as you can see, I'm filming today's video from Delray Beach, Florida. Now in our last video we talked about that the economy has rebounded, but you still may be going through your own personal recession. Now during recessions, people act like that the money has just completely disappeared. And as the fact of this last 2009 Great Recession, there was more money that was printed by the U.S. government than they had ever printed in all of U.S. history. So lack of money is not the problem. It's that the people who had the money no longer have the money, and that money has just moved on to someone else. Now recently, Pathmart's grocery store has declared bankruptcy. We also know of the problems that Kmart has had over the last decade or so. If you look back in the 70s and the 80s, they were at the top of their game, but because they did not adapt to the changing business environment, they eventually had to declare bankruptcy. Now even McDonald's recently closed 700 stores because they did not adapt to these cultural changes. Now in the case of McDonald's, it's because that people are now eating healthier than they did in the past. So again, the problem with the people who are spending money at these companies, Pathmart, Kmart, McDonald's, is the people that were spending money with these companies are no longer spending that money, and now they're spending that money with their competitors or somebody else. Now again, one of the things that we talked about in our last video is who our competitors really are. And it's not people who are just in our industry, but it's really people or businesses that people are spending their money with besides us. So where did Facebook's money come from? Now people think that Facebook is such a huge internet company, and it is. However, there are other internet companies that are much bigger than Facebook, and they're growing at a much more of a faster rate than what Facebook has done as well. So the momentum that these companies are going with is because of this culture shift that we've been talking about. Now CNN reported on a study of why so many businesses were going out of business. And one of the main reasons that they found is because of these businesses, because of their failure to adapt to modern technology. Now, a lot of small and medium-sized businesses think that these companies are taking business away from them, and they're not your competitors. They actually want to partner up with you. So they're not your competitors, they're your business partners. They want you to offer your inventory to their worldwide customer base. Beach is getting a little windy, as you can tell, so I'm going to take you to my computer so we can go ahead and finish up this video.
Okay, so we got ourselves out of the wind. It is thundering outside, so you still might hear a little bit of thunder. But again, as we were just mentioning here, is that CNN recently reported on a study of why so many businesses are going out of business, and one of the main reasons was stated is failure to adapt to today's modern technology. Now, as you can see from this graph in front of you, there are $78 billion internet companies, 6 of which are doing over $10 billion a year. And so the momentum that a lot of these internet companies are growing at is greatly increasing. It used to be a big deal for us to hear about a billion-dollar company. And maybe we ourselves don't run billion-dollar companies, but it's not uncommon anymore to hear about how fast these internet companies are now going. Take, for instance, there's a company called Uber, and they did $41 billion within their first couple of years. So this just gives us more reasons of why we need to start adapting ourselves to today's modern technology. Now, these companies are not in competition with you, as we mentioned earlier, but rather these companies want to partner up with you. Take, for instance, there's a small little bookstore in St. Joe, Michigan, and it's called Forever Books. And while I was in there one day, the owner of this store, and she's a retired school teacher and decided to start a business, a bookstore. And one of the things that she said is that Amazon is trying to put them out of business by offering lower prices. And no, that's not the fact. The fact is that Amazon actually wants to partner up with you. They want you to offer your inventory to their worldwide customer base. Now, the owner of this bookstore values hometown, small town bookstores. And she might not like it. She might think that it's unfair, but you have to give people what they want. just because she values a hometown bookstore does not mean that's how her customers or her past customers feels about this. So she can complain about it, she can get pissed off, you may think that it's unfair. However, if you want to win this game, win this game of business, you have to play by the rules of the game. So many people spend all this time focusing on how life isn't fair and they're not getting out of life what they want, which only intensifies our problems by focusing on it. So if we can, rather instead about focusing on our problems, if we can focus on what we can do about our problems, that's a smarter solution, don't you think? Take, for instance, this here is the Vaynerchuk family. This here is Gary Vaynerchuk, and they run a family wine business. Sasha is his father. They run a family wine business in New Jersey. And most of the local businesses were looking for ways to avoid technology. They didn't want to do it, just like what this bookstore was doing. However, what this in particular wine store did here is they filled in the gaps that their competition was neglecting to make, and they went from a $4 million wine business to a $67 million wine business by using 4 technology tools: blogs, email newsletters, social media, and mobile. And by using this technology, they filled in the gaps that their competition was neglecting to make. And again, they went from a $4 million a year business to a $67 million business. Now you can stick your head in the sand and pretend this doesn't exist. You can watch your customers leave and go to somebody else who is using these tools to adapt to today's new economy. Or you can do something about it. Now, you don't have to like it. I'm sure you didn't. Many of you who are watching this video didn't grow up with the internet, didn't grow up with technology, so you don't like it. But if you want to win, if you want to stay in business, you have to play by the rules of today's modern business world. And that is why we are here. Now, again, I hope this information has been helpful. If you'd like some help putting this all together, I want to invite you to order your free DVD, where you will discover how to use the money your competition is spending in advertising in order to get you more business for yourself. Now, the first time that I did this, I used $100,000 that one of my competitors had already spent in advertising, and I used that money to be able to get 141 sales within my very first 6 hours. And I'll show you how companies like Apple, Disney, and McDonald's use this as well, and how you can use it. Next, you will see how to harness the spending power of your customers who are spending money with other businesses to make 10 to 20 times more profits from your already existing customer base. So you have customers, and your customers are going out and spending money with other businesses. So I'll show you how to make money when your customers go off and spend money with those other businesses. Then we'll also reveal the secrets of what companies like Apple, Disney, and McDonald's do to never pay out of pocket for their business expenses ever again, and how you can do the same, and how to get companies to pay you in order for you to advertise your business, and much, much, much more. So again, I want to encourage you to order your free DVD, and you can do that at freedvd.prostarprofits.com.